As you can see, I'm sitting inside of a leg press, so not a big surprise that today I'm going to go over a leg press. Regardless of what make or brand or whatever it may be, we're just going to hit some really common points for the leg press so you can get the best out of it, okay? One of the first things to do is understand that the leg press in and of itself, because I'm in a seated position, okay, right? Because I'm not in a straight position, because I'm in seated position, what I've actually already done is I've actually begun to shorten my hip flexors, okay? So this by no means replaces the squat, the belt squat, running, anything those sort of things. This specific exercise right here is to do two things, really. Is to lengthen and shorten the quad muscles as much as possible in a linear movement, as well as hamstrings. Okay, it does the same for gastroc and soleus and things too, but primarily, right, when I'm saying this because if my foot position is wrong, again, that's what I'm trying to get you guys. First thing is get you in the best position. Okay, if I really widen my feet, the abductors and adductors are having to really stabilize these the femurs, because they're outside of that linear movement. So I want to get my feet in a position, like I always say, where I jump from, right? If my feet are in a position to where I jump from, I know I've got from toe to hip relatively straight line. As straight as that line is, the closer to straight line it is, the more stretching I'm going to put my hamstring and quads under. Okay, and that's the goal. I'm trying to strengthen the quads and hamstring as much as possible. So a couple rules of thumb on this, okay? First rule of thumb is make sure your butt is completely seated on this thing, okay? Once I'm really seated on this thing, I'm going to put my feet, I'm going to kind of march in place and get my feet to where they're right underneath me. The angle of my legs are roughly should be the angle of the machine, okay? So we see this oftentimes, you see in weight rooms, someone will go, okay, put your feet up here, we've got more angle, more range of motion. No, we don't. Because if you look comparatively, okay, if we're talking hip flexor engagement, right? As I start bringing my foot up, what am I doing? I'm shortening my hip flexor even more. So I'm even doing less rep range, okay? Now, granted, am I gonna have my feet way down here? See, my angle is in opposition to the machine. No, there's too much stress on that front side of my knee now, okay? So what I'm trying to do is just kind of look and see, make sure my legs, these bones right here, my femurs are roughly the same angle as this, okay? Toes also, I don't want my toes out, I don't want my toes in, I want it in a position, okay? The next thing is as I go into hip flexion, what tends to happen is the butt will lift. Okay, why? You see a lot of people, their hands are out here floating. That's why there's handles, okay? Just like in the squat, I want to get lat, I want to get my back engaged, right? So I don't go into a butt wink, okay? If I'm loose at my lats, my hips will rotate up. See, my hips will come off the bench. I'll go into a butt wink, okay? So for me, on this, again, based on my body type, I can get the best grip, just happen to be right here in the seat. I kind of flex down on it, right? Keeping my feet flat on this bench here, okay? Flexing my lat, flexing my lat, flexing my lat. Get to the bottom, extend. As far as the reps are concerned on this leg press, okay? As I come down, what I'm doing, I know I don't have this hand engaged, but as I'm coming down, right, and this angle is getting shorter and this is getting tighter, I have to contract my back muscles. Get back tighter, 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 tighter. If I don't, my hips will come up. Okay, I've got to stabilize this, right? I'm driving my abdominal wall in, I'm driving my back, so this is nice and flat. There shouldn't be an arch here. There should be absolutely no space here. I'm pushing hard, flexing hard back into this, engaging my lats, keeping my head neutral, flex, 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 extend, okay? So again, just keep that in mind whenever you're on a leg press. The angle of your femur should match the angle of the machine, okay? Lats are engaged, feet stay nice and flat, okay? And as you work through range of motion, you're pulling your toes to shin on your way down, right? We get a lot of flexibility. We can use this machine to help increase mobility and flexibility in the ankles, hips, and knees.